this. Yeah. Get your chuckles out of the way now, doobie. Watch, I'm gonna set a 120 something. That's not gonna happen. Don't tell anyone that's not gonna happen. Alright, so we're going to the options. Switching quick change to previous. We're gonna load the game so that we can load our new game plus, which will allow us to skip a cutscene about 15 minutes into the run. If it sounds like I've tried this before, I may have. Alright, so here's my file. I'm loading this file so we can get a new game plus. Anything in red on the save thing means that it's new game plus. Dang it, doobie, I was trying. I wasn't fast enough, but I was trying to break that. Curses. Alright, tanker plant, which means full game. On normal difficulty, radar selection really doesn't matter. After I select the radar, I'll be starting the timer, because that's when the in-game timer starts. Unlike the last try. See, I know where I went wrong now. So yeah. So we're going to start our timer when I select this button here. Like I said, radar doesn't matter. I just like to select off because I'm running European Extreme at the same time, and that's a whole set of cats in a bag that would be too long to explain in the middle of a run. And believe me, I've tried.
All right, let's.
So this game starts off with about 10 minutes of cutscenes if you're not skipping them religiously. As you can see, it's already taken 35 seconds just to get control of the character. But it's no problem. Here we are. We're on the tanker. It's raining. Let's get Snake out of the rain. Now we're going to completely ignore this fellow and open the door. That guy won't have enough time to sound the alert or anything. Now we're inside. Snake is out of the rain. Well, that's not supposed to happen. So I shot that guy's radio. This stops him from calling in the alert. Again, in normal, it doesn't necessarily matter, but having an alert is not optimal because it adds extra guys later in your path that are a whole sack of dirt. Now I meant to hold that guy up earlier, and the way I'm doing that while running is pressing the L1 button while pressing the weapon button, which is square. But I meant to hold him up earlier, that way he wouldn't have seen me and shot me and wasted a little bit more time. But it doesn't matter, because now we're up to our first boss. Her name is Olga. She likes to troll. Yes, speedrunning them Kodak calls. It's almost like this is a speed run. Wow. So Olga gave us the good route. She's notoriously trolly, but if you do it right, which I don't think I did here. Yes, I did actually. So if you do it right and position yourself very specifically. I missed. Hello? If you position yourself very specifically when she goes left like that, she spots you and then runs to the back little bit there. Hello? Wow. Alright, but yeah, she runs to that back set of crates, whatever you want to call them. And if you did it right, she'll pause a moment before starting her cutscene spiel. And you can just keep shooting her in the head. It's in a pretty easy rhythm to get the hang of, if you don't miss like I did. So, yeah, that was Olga. She's really easy if you get the loop. Otherwise, she can take a while. So, yeah. As you may notice, I'm rolling up and down stairs when I'm going in through level transitions. This is a minor speed up. Normally, if Snake rolls off of... if Snake rolls up or downstairs, he'll bonk his head, wasting time. In level transitions, it doesn't quite matter, so that's why I'm not entirely worried about it. And so it just speeds that up a little bit. Being so informed. Yeah, you already know most of this stuff. So there's a guy down those stairs. Just plug him twice using quick reload, which I do using the weapon select button, which is R2. Just tap that twice after you shoot, and you'll have you won't rechamber the round in the M9, and you'll just have a full magazine. Now here, I screwed up a little bit, and I didn't trigger that guy's cycle. All that means is that I had to wait a couple extra seconds while he kind of moseyed his way down. Also, if Snake clears the bottom of the stairs in the... Hello. If Snake clears the stairs in the middle of a roll, he won't actually bonk. So, it's useful for going fast. Also, be sure not to hit any of those Semtex. If you do, they'll blow up. Thanks, Mal. But yeah, they'll blow up, and that's no good for speed. Mal, thanks for... also, you joined a little late, but I'm doing this for a clean-mouthed run, where I'm also trying to explain everything I'm doing. So if you time that very carefully, both times that guy says time, on one you aim, on the first you aim, on the second one you shoot, and that'll allow you to get that guy without any trouble, usually. And that guy is notoriously trolly for me. He likes to kick me in the face with his mighty boot. So now we're up to our second quote-unquote boss. It's counted as a boss in Boss Rush, so... But yeah, this is the second boss, the ambush, the soldier rush, whatever you want to call it. Now, you don't have to do this non-lethally on normal, but like I said, I am running European Extreme at the same time, and one of the goals in that is not to kill anybody. So, hence, I'm using the tranq pistol for my ambush here. Snake loves to bonk. Yeah, I'm sure he does. So, these guys, they'll stop whenever you shoot the guy in front of them. So, you don't really have to worry about it as long as you're accurate enough. Now, you may notice I equipped the camera. That is to set up a glitch. It wasn't recently found, but it was found after this run appeared at AGDQ the first time. This is called elevator glitch, ladder skip, whatever you want to call it. It's the same thing. Basically, you equip the camera, and at the same time you board the ladder, which causes the game to freak out. And allows you to skip that second longer ladder. And that's hold 1. Nice and quick, nice and clean. Now for hold 2, we're actually going to come over here, hit the projector, which causes these guys to turn around. And then, consecutively, we're going to hold up 3 different guards and just ride right on past. Otherwise, they'll give you issues. You can also kind of run into them, which isn't good. It's preferable, definitely, to hold them up if you can. Now we're just taking pictures of Metal Gear Ray. This is the final objective of the tanker, and once we do this, we'll be on to the plant. So we're supposed to tag a picture of the Marines logo on the back of the Ray. However, we can forego that by aiming specifically at one point in the Ray and snapping the photo. Makes it a little quicker. You don't have to run all the way to the back of the Ray just to get one photo. So yeah, that's the tanker.
We the Marine.
Metal Gear Ray loves the camera, alright? Didn't you notice it posing all pretty like? So you have to be careful here. I like to swap to mashing start for that last cutscene, otherwise you'll hit that save prompt and accidentally hit yes, which loses real time. Which ultimately doesn't matter since this game is scored in in-game time, but still, it's better to just avoid that if you can. And now we're on to the segment where we control the wet sock Raiden, everyone's favorite. So everything controls the same for the most part with Raiden, with a few very minor differences. For instance, Raiden can roll downstairs with impunity, since he does this nifty little cartwheel. Rolling upstairs is quite a bit the same, though. If you don't manage to clear the stairs before like the halfway point in his roll, he'll bonk. So our first little bit here is getting our map information, which will be useless since we turn the map off. But that's what these little terminals do, is they turn your map on. And this first one makes you put your name in, and these menus are very, well, for me, they're very difficult to navigate sometimes. That's also a chance in the run where you can turn your quick change to previous instead of unequip. But it's better, obviously, just to do it from the main menu before you start. Or, if you think really ahead, you can do that while while doing your New Game Plus Plus saves, because it saves that information. You can just use that from the save data. So here we're just kind of waiting. We've got to wait for these guys to wake up a bit. So I wait until he's turned around, then run forward and flip that guy, then really quickly, without missing a beat, run to the next guy and flip him over. This will knock him back out, and you have the rest of the time to just screw around until the elevator comes. Nice and simple. The tanker and the plant are both very much front-loaded with cutscenes and codec calls. A lot of learning how to play this game is learning how to effectively mash through the cutscenes and codec calls. Thankfully, in Metal Gear Solid 2, you can skip codec calls by just hitting the triangle button. So a little bit of movement tech there. I rolled into the codec call that usually pops up there, so I can move a little bit closer to the door. It's not that much of a time save, but I really like to do it. Hey, Youth PSN, how you doing? Also, you can accept codec calls. Red ones are mandatory. You have to take them. In fact, it won't let you skip them at all. In order to take those faster, you can, if you know where they're coming or when they'll be, you can just hit the select button when they pop up and it'll instantly bring up the codec menu. So the AB bridge, as I just passed, is pretty simple. Each pass you just kind of roll through the guard and hurry on through. And here we meet Lieutenant J.G. Pliskin. Snake? What? That couldn't possibly be Snake. So, again, rolling into a codec call to be a little bit further into the room. which also introduces the in-codec save prompt, which you can skip by pressing the circle button. It stops the automatic scrolling of your codec call, so it's not that hard to avoid hitting those save prompts at least. So BC Bridge, really easy, no enemies, just run straight on through. That item on the right is a chaff grenade. I'll be picking that up on another pass. In fact, the return pass I'm just about to make after heading in through Strut C here. Here's where we'll be meeting Stillman for the first time. And here's where loading your New Game++ save file comes in handy. Normally here there's about a 1.5 to 2 minute unskippable cutscene that you have to watch regarding disposal of bombs, which is our next objective. But if you load a New Game++, you can skip right past these and move on your way. This cutscene right here, in fact. And this one. Alright, with that out of the way, we can get on with bomb disposal. You may notice that green spot on the radar. That is the signature from a bomb. We skipped it on this pass because we'll be coming back through here, and it's faster to ignore it now than to worry about it. So I buffered my item window with rolling, which just allows me to keep moving quicker after selecting my item. And the item I swapped over to was the coolant, which automatically puts you in first-person mode, which, if you roll, that also avoids that. It's a very handy piece of movement tech that's usable pretty much everywhere in the run. So you can actually take out those bombs a little faster if you aim at a corner, because the coolant spray actually hits multiple edges of the bomb at once. Pay no mind to that guy. He's drunk. Had a little bit too much. So, here is the reason why I picked up the chaff grenades. Coming up here shortly. See, we're going to use it to distract this guy and run right past him. Which we can now just go on through here. And you may notice I'm rising instantly out of a prone. This is known as coolant rising because when you swap to the coolant and stand up, it basically happens instantly when you take the coolant off. Which is another useful piece of tech that if you're looking at running this game, you should probably look into. And for our second chaff, we're going to throw it on this bridge because there's a cipher ahead. Ciphers are the drones with cameras on them. That right there. There are variants with guns on them, and there are variants without guns on them. Usually the fastest method of taking those out is just to not do it at all and use a chaff grenade instead. And what I just did there was I used the coolant spray to go ahead and just make that guy freak out a little bit. Now, usually he'd call in a caution mode, but we shot him with the tranq pistol as well. So that means he fell asleep before he was able to call it in, before he recovered fully from. Alright, it allowed him time to recover from his hold-up position, but it didn't allow him to call it in, basically. Again, rolling into codec calls puts us further in the map. Slight time saves, but very important. So, the EF connecting bridge is filled with mines. So So you have to take a very specific route, or else you're going to end up blowing off your legs. No good. No good at all. I can't tell you how many times I've blown myself up on that bridge before I learned the exact route I needed to take. So Strut E's bomb is up on the roof, so we're going to go up there and take care of that. But not before we're accosted by cutscenes again. And this is Raiden's introduction to Olga, who you may remember is the first boss in the tanker. As for why she shows up here, we didn't kill her. We were locked with non-lethal methods until after Olga. So there was no way we could possibly kill her. So yeah, she's here. So here we're just gonna plop down underneath this suspicious looking plane, take out the bomb, and then be on our merry way. Now you gotta be careful on the way back here because there's a couple of guys patrolling. And pick up the box for very important reasons. The box is our most important ally. And like I said, roll downstairs with Raiden, so you don't have to watch him trundle on down. And then we come back in downstairs, there's a call, take it immediately. Otherwise, cycles are a little messed up. And then, again, roll down the stairs. Come up through here, hold this guy up. Don't switch to coolant. So for this bridge, we're actually going to take the lower path. And this just saves time getting to the bomb itself, because it's on the lower level of the strut. Now on European Extreme, in this strut there are 3 bombs, and they are all very annoyingly placed. However, in normal there's just the one. So just make your way on over here. You can just open this behind the guy. He's not going to turn around and notice you at all. However, pay special attention, let him leave before you start spraying the coolant, otherwise he'll be stuck in place and you have to fix it by tranquilizing him really quick. So yeah, this is our second to last bomb, so that codec call plays. So we're just gonna wait for this guy to circle around. And save a little bit of time here by holding him up. And then make our way out of here. So now we have circled the complete hexagon. So we're on our way back to Strut C now. Now you can just use the box here, but if you don't feel confident with it, you can just nail him in the head with the tranq dart. Takes him out nice and swiftly. So here we are again. Just pop into this room, and you got to grab that big sensor, otherwise the next event trigger won't happen when you take out this bomb here. The range on the coolant spray is a little bit deceptive. The visuals on it don't reach as far as the actual effect does. So you can be a little further away than you think when you're defusing bombs. So coming out of that door, there's another codec call. Take it real quick. And this starts a timer. 400 seconds is more than enough to get where we're going. Now I'm going to empty out my SOCOM for reasons. And then we're going to continue. Aiming usually helps. Now, some of the floors on that side are grates, metal grates, which means that you have to be really careful, or else the guy is going to hear you and turn around. When you flip through guards, when you've put a tranquilizer around in them, it'll knock them out instantly, no matter where you hit them with the tranq dart. which is very useful for moving through enemies quickly. Alternatively, you can just knock them off the edge, like I did before. Doesn't really matter. If you get caught before you reach him, like if he sees you before you actually get up to him, then you can just roll through him. But if he catches you, like as you're on top of him, he'll more than likely he'll just kick you, which generally gives him time to call in the alert, and it's a big old mess. So hey, here's where we begin the plant chapter. Things have moved around a little bit. I'm sure that means nothing, though. So our last bomb is a real big bomb. And this real big bomb is directly underneath this submarine thing here. The fastest way to get to it is to stand on this platform here and spray the bomb. I am not hitting the bomb. You have to be really careful, otherwise Raiden will actually just jump off the platform and start swimming, which is no good. Now I like to turn a little bit before unequipping the coolant, which basically just means that we won't be diving off the platform, because it is actually a little bit faster. Not much, but a little bit, just to do the shimmying like that. Now, I didn't roll into this codec call because it would just place me back where I was, so it's kind of just pointless. So, if I can figure this out, there we go. So this is Fortune. This is a 3 or 4 minute fight in which you can do nothing but hide from her. Now, this is the reason why we emptied our SOCOM. When Raiden is peeking out of cover with a weapon, he has invincibility frames. And we're going to use that to make our way through this fight, because we actually can't do anything to speed it up, so we might as well just stay safe, right? It's not as important on normal as it is in European Extreme, because she fires super slowly and she won't be able to destroy all the cover like she can in European Extreme. But it looks flashy, so I like to do it. Now, you have to be careful when this cutscene pops up, because if you're popped out of cover while that cutscene comes up, Raiden will just start running wherever. Like, he'll actually unsticky himself from your cover and start running around. So, really, you gotta be careful. Especially in European Extreme, because she can and will two-shot you. And if you take one shot, you're almost definitely assured to take a second one. So when you hear her start grunting, that's your cue to start picking up the SOCOM armor, because her fight is done. And we'll need the SOCOM ammo for the next boss, the next actual boss. A boss we can actually fight. So we have another 400-second countdown to reach our next destination. Again, it's way too much time. You're never going to run out of time here. On normal, at least. Well, always make sure to grab the chaff grenades on your way through, though. And try your best not to get blown up. Again, getting blown up is bad. So here, just box, he won't shoot us, then continue on our way. He doesn't have the time to call in the alert fully before we transition screens. And the cipher's gone from this bridge, so we can just run straight on through. Also, gotta make sure you're hugging the inside wall, otherwise that guy has the ability to spot you. Same thing here, box. Couple of shots. Hold this guy up, run through him, and we're home scot-free. EF bridge. A very handy tip, equip your box and you can take corners more easily, which works better for the whole Claymore route on the bridge. Because even if you're even like a pixel or two too far north or too far east, you're going to end up hitting a Claymore, and that's bad juju. So our objective is up here on the heliport again. Here's where we will defuse our final bomb for the game, as well as fight a boss. This boss can be notoriously trolly, but there's a simpler way. So yeah, just run up here, defuse the bomb, and then there's cutscenes to skip, as always. Now, on normal, we're going to go ahead and go to the right bomb first, because that means Fat Man's just going to be sitting right there for us, and we can plug him full of holes. Now, we don't have to worry about the bomb just yet. As you can see, we've got plenty of time to take it out. Instead, we're going to focus our efforts on the guy who evaded me. Whoops. So he's now going to be standing next to the bomb. Which means we can just take the coolant, take care of the bomb before the timer, turn back to him, and hey, last shot on him. And that was an exceptionally good Fat Man fight. Like I said, he can and will troll you at every opportunity. Possibly even more so than Olga. So, one final bomb, take care of that, then quickly. Well, okay, never mind. So, what you can do is, when you finish disposing of the bomb, you stand up with the coolant equipped, unequip the coolant, and then immediately cartwheel south, which just saves a couple of seconds of travel before you reach the next cutscenes, the next batch of cutscenes, I suppose. The timing is a little tricky, so it's not a big deal that I missed it, honestly. Just tiny little optimizations in the movement. And as I said before, part of learning the route for the game is learning which order the cutscenes go in, when you should mash X, when you should mash triangle for codec calls, that sort of thing. And it may look like a mess of black screens and white screens and what have you, but when you start actually doing this for a while, you start to learn exactly when everything happens. So, we have now obtained a couple of new items, so we've got to take care of that. This BDU is a disguise to get us into the Shell 1 core, which is our next place of interest. And we have to get another part of the disguise, which is an AK. And to get an AK, we have to go yet again into the F strut warehouse. But thankfully, this is the second to last time we'll be heading in here. I almost forgot that we will be heading in here one more time after this, because strut F. So, there's a guy up on the stairs, punch twice, and he'll walk away before, so you can get down the stairs. AK is up in this corner, grab that, and run out real quick. Easy do. And now back to the EF bridge, because the Shell 1 core is directly to our left. Like I said, using the box just allows us to take tighter corners so that we don't have to really worry about that. The claymores. So here we are. Once we get in, there's a codec call, take it and skip through. La-di-da. Nothing new. Now, there's cameras down this hallway. They don't notice us because, hey, we're one of them. Pretty cool. Tap the elevator button once here and skip the cutscene, and the elevator will be up by the time you need it to be. That's the only time we'll be pressing the button only once in this run. Now we're in the B2 to get a directional mic, rolling downstairs. Now you don't have to roll anywhere. It's not especially faster because there's some recovery time when you stop rolling. So oftentimes it'll actually be a little bit faster to just run. The only time rolling is truly faster is going downstairs. So we press the button twice, and now we go up to B1. Here, there is a biometric scanner to get into the room we need to get into. So knock on that wall a couple of times and wait a few seconds. And take hold of this guy and just drag him on over. You can do it in first person like I did. Just take hold of him in a first person, rotate around to it, and then let go of first person button. Or you can just drag him around and put his face into the scanner that way. Doesn't matter. I believe using first person is a tiny bit faster. Yeah, I agree, Youth, but it's more for the VOD than for anything else. Also, hey, look, the fastest possible aims we could ever hope for, right here, right in front of our face. And that's the true objective of getting in here. We have to talk to Ames, so we can learn the location of where the president is being held. Now we skip through cutscenes using the directional mic, etc., etc. And here, for whatever reason, they actually make us re-equip our AK. Bam. Look at that. It makes no real sense. There's no real rhyme or reason to it, but it's there, so just do it. So. Oop. I messed up. I wasn't supposed to bump into him there. Also, I was not supposed to get an alert here. That's bad. So, we can't actually use the elevator while we're under alert. As you can see, I'm running into the button, nothing's happening. These guys woke up really quick. So this isn't particularly fast, but that's fine, honestly. Alright, that should be fine. We should be finally free. So we can use the elevator when we're under evasion. That much is fine. This might be bad. If I can get out this door, then we should be fine. Yeah, we're good. Okay. So there is... That was not the way we're supposed to handle that. Not one little bit. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I'll take the intentional death. That way we keep our chaff grenade.
Right. What's wrong? Right. Right.
So yeah, that was a fantastically slow exit to Shell 1, which is fine, honestly. So, on the return trip through this bridge, make sure you're rolling through all of that, because otherwise, spoiler alert, we'll be coming back through here later, and we need to take that bridge again, so. So I like to wait here for this guy, take care of him, roll through him so we're not tiptoeing through the tulips, and then grab our sniper rifle.
Nothing here.
Oh no, it's not you, youth. Don't worry about it. Trust me, I have a better sense of concentration than that, but so yeah. Once again, taking the box, tighter corners, avoid mines. Simple stuff. Also, we don't need our AK out. So on this pass through the strut, just kind of stroll right on through. And this time through the DE connecting bridge, we're going to take the top path because that's where we need to be. Also, the guard pattern changes depending on whether or not you're on bomb disposal or not. And the top path, in this case, the guard wasn't there. So now we can go through this door, which leads to the Shell 1-2 connecting bridge. There's a cutscene, a codec, and then a cutscene, and then we're allowed to have control back. And now we can take care of these IR sensors. As you may notice, these are the same things we destroyed in the beginning of in the tanker, sorry. So yeah, just take out the sensors. You can use the PSG-1 for these faraway ones. I tend not to. There's also one behind that flag. So now for this one, we do need the PSG-1 because it's on that cipher. And if you're not incredibly careful, you can hit that cipher. It'll blow up the bridge. It's not good. I don't think I hit the one on the flag. Yeah, okay. So after that, after you see that cutscene play, you know you've gotten all the sensors, you can just stroll on through the bridge. Except, wait, hold on. There's an obstacle here. You may have noticed there was something on the Strut E heliport that was missing the second time we were up there. That's right, the Harrier. Now we have to fight it. So right off the bat, you can fire 3 quick stingers and hit him all 3 times. Then you take a 4th shot and then put the lock on him, which gives you another one. So you can get 4 shots before he goes and does his whole thing here. Now here he's going to drop some Hellfire bombs. So just very quickly maneuver your way down here. Take the shot. Now I wonder if he's going to let us go out in style. Amazing. He's going to let us go out in style, guys. So you can actually get 2 shots in before he his missiles reach you. But wait, where's he gone? Oh, there he is. So on European Extreme, this is really ill-advised. But on normal, you can kind of just play cat and mouse with the missiles. Also, don't waste shots if you can manage. Oh, of course. That's an ill-advised shot, because now he's going to go do that. He's going that way. So pay attention, pay very close attention to his trails when you're fighting the Harrier. This way you can always tell which way he's going, even without a map. So yeah, that's the Harrier done quickly. Very quickly, apparently. Then there's cutscenes, codecs. On the second codec call, there is a save prompt. Just skip through that. And now we're here. And the bridge is all messed up, so you better drive, brother. Anyway, jump off the bridge very specifically. You have to do it very close to the edge of it, or else you'll end up falling off, and that's no good. Now I equip the BDU. This is so I can blend into the orange background. And no, that's not a joke. If you don't equip the BDU and you try and do this, these guys will spot you, and it's a whole mess. Hey, Soralot, how you doing today? So yeah, just equip the BDU, and you don't have to worry about it too much. Now here, the guards are on a bit of a cycle. There is a way to make it quick, like so. Now make sure you equip a pistol or two before heading on to this particular section. Because when you crouch down, you're real slow, like so. But if you quick swap weapons with a pistol out, you can speed it up marginally. Now skip a cutscene at that corner and keep running. Take out your chaff. Up ahead there are 4 gun ciphers, which we need to be wary of. Fastest way, of course, as I mentioned before, just take a chaff and disrupt them. This way you can just keep on running. Here, flip over, very tight. Make sure you're on the one of the last few frames possible. And also remember to take off the BDU before entering the Shell 2 core, because if you don't, the cutscenes within will take longer to load. As you can see, that went really fast. If I was still wearing the BDU, that would not have gone so fast. So, that cutscene explained that there is an electrified floor panel up there where we need to go. So before we can go there, we have to go grab a Nikita missile launcher and remotely guide a rocket into the generator. If this sounds familiar, it's because it is. You did the exact same thing in Metal Gear Solid 1. In fact, come to think of it, a lot of this is familiar from Metal Gear Solid 1. And don't worry, it is acknowledged in-game. This isn't something I'm just coming up with now. So, in order to get the Nikita launcher, we have to come down to B2, which is flooded. So as soon as you dive into the water, yeah. As soon as you dive into the water, you are immediately taught how to swim. And skip through all that real quick. Now the route through here never changes, ever. You take the first right, then you straighten out, take left, and then right, and that'll get you in the Nikita launcher right there. Now to make the swimming faster, you might be able to hear it in my mic, but I'm tapping the circle button a hell of a lot. And Raiden's normal swimming speed is real slow. Like really, really slow. So, it's very beneficial to just tap your way through it. So here we are. We have a Nikita launcher. We're ready to save the Prez. The quickest path with the Nikita launcher is through here. We have to take ventilation ducts, so just take out those 2 cameras. You may notice they have guns on them. And then we shoot the Nikita right on in. Now sometimes the President is a bit of an idiot. But if you're really careful, you won't manage to hit him with the missile. And now the electrified floor is taken care of. No problem. So if you're not paying attention, you might end up pressing X through a few codec prompts like I just did. Like I said, it's not a big deal as long as you catch yourself relatively soon, because doing that is slower than just pressing triangle when it starts. So we have now been told to go meet Emma Emmerich,
I took
sister of famed scientist of Metal Gear Solid 1, Hal Emmerich, also known as Otacon. And this begins the most vile part of the game. That's right. Not only did Metal Gear Solid 2 involve a swimming section, they also involved an escort quest. And on top of it being an escort quest, you actually have to hold Emma's hand all the way to your destination, because she cannot move on her own. But, I'm getting ahead of myself. Before that, we have a boss fight. So let us get to that. Again, we're taking the same initial path as we did the first time around. And pass straight past where we got the Nikita. Except now we're going to take the left, go into this doorway, avoid mines at all costs. The lower your health is, the more your oxygen gauge decreases. The faster the rate, rather. So the higher your health is, the better. If you're at full health, that's amazing, because you can make this entire swim happen in one smooth go. Now there's a few routes through here. I take the windy one because I like to. But there are alternate paths that are straighter that you don't really have to worry about too much. I don't think any path is particularly faster than the others, so just take what you like. At the top of the stairs, there's a codec call. If you surface early, this call will happen then instead of now. Food for thought. Now swap to your tranq pistol and walk through the door. And thus begins the vamp fight. So, start off real quick, pop him in the head with your M9, and fire a couple of stingers into the water. You can... If you decide against it, you don't have to fire the stingers into the water. It makes him surface slightly faster. It also takes off a bit of his O2 gauge if you don't hit him directly with the missile. So then you drop into the water, and you bait him into this loop, where we will punch him a lot.
What's with these guys? It's like one of my Japanese animals.
Thank you, Gnome, for the host. And that's Vamp. You can do Vamp a lot faster, but I was concentrating more on talking than I was on the fight. You can usually get about 8 punches in before he swipes again. 8 to 10 is the maximum. Depends on how far you feel like pushing your luck. And the basics of that fight is you stand right on top of him to make him swipe at you. Then when he's taking a swipe, you move out, avoid taking damage. Then punch, 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 punch. Always make sure you're not kicking, because when you kick, he'll dive back into the water and waste a lot of time. But you always have to be cycling your punches. Just make sure you tap the circle button twice quickly, pause a sec, do it again.
Good.
Thank you, Bebo Pink, for the follow. I appreciate it. So now we have Emma. Like I said, the most vile part of the game. Swimming section, escort quest, all in one. The main thing you want to worry about with Emma is never stop. She might run out of oxygen. Don't worry about it. Just keep going. Her health in this first bit doesn't ultimately matter all that much. It's best just to keep moving instead of surfacing every couple of seconds to let her catch her breath. Also, how you doing, Gnome? I'm glad you can make it. So, escorting Emma's on land is really simple. Press the triangle button while unarmed, and you'll grab her hand and lead her along very, very slowly. Also, you remember how I said that both Tanker and Plant are very front-loaded with the cutscenes? Well, so is the Emma section. Emma loves to talk. So, this is exactly reverse of what we were doing. Just going straight through what we did before, but in the opposite direction. Like I said, you see Emma's oxygen gauge is getting low. Don't worry about it. If you're fast enough, she won't die. And you'll be better off for it on your timer. I see, no. It's not a problem. I'm just glad you can make it. The biggest run killers in this game. Sections we have yet to see. On European Extreme, strut F. So here what I did. I brought her right up to the edge of where she's going to say, ew, I hate bugs, and start running away. And I click the button for the elevator. And then to avoid her saying, ew, bugs, get them away, I strangle her. And bring her on the elevator that way. This is faster than any other method. You can also just knock her out and drag her. She'll be awake by the time you get off the elevator. But yeah, run killers. Fat Man, strut F, things like that. So here, I let go of Emma, start bumping into her, try to get her on the stairs. This skips a... What? Uh-oh. Oh. Anyway, that skips a cutscene where a guy comes down the elevator and starts investigating. And getting the alert here is really bad because, as you can see, getting shot at is real slow. And yeah, no, I was operating completely in La La Land there. I should have remembered in normal that the guy patrols when the cutscene doesn't happen. So throw a chaff once you come out of that, but Shell 2 core, and start making your way across this bridge. Once again, the gun ciphers are there, so you got to be very careful. Up ahead, there's a dude. That's not what I meant to do. Right there. There's the dude. And is this cipher? Nope, that cipher's not there. Oh, that's not good. So we're actually going to burn another chaff here, just to save myself here. In this game, it's always good to have backups upon backups, just in case something does go wrong like that. Oh, that's 100% bad. Now I'm on fire. And in order to take myself out of the fire, I'm going to go ahead and do some outfit management. Now I equipped the rations so I wouldn't die here because I had a feeling I might. So this could go a lot smoother. In fact, it's really supposed to go a lot smoother. But, like I said, backups are your friend. Yep. Unequipping and re-equipping the BDU will put your fire out. What? Hello? Go away, please. Emma, come on, quickly. So yeah, when you're under alert, there's guys that'll come through behind you, and it's really bad. And if you set Emma down too close to this door, when you're trying to open it, you'll instead end up trying to grab her hand over and over and over again. It's no good. Yeah, Glenn, this is normal, so thanks. This is normal difficulty. I'm trying to get a good commentary run with minimal to no swearing. So, there was a point in which we could have grabbed a non-lethal sniper rifle back in the swimming section. However, on normal it doesn't quite matter as much, so I like to just take care of it with the normal sniper rifle. It saves a little bit of time at the expense of some kills. So, rip those soldiers. You will be remembered. So, this is functionally an auto-scroller. You can't really speed it up, but you can definitely slow it down by letting Emma get seen by these guys on the fence, the oil fence. That's the word. And also, you do have to take distance into account when you're firing at long range like that, because it does actually matter. The bullets do travel. So there's 3 guys. Once Emma gets to a certain point on this and the next bridge, that'll pop up around the strut in that particular order. And there's also going to be one more popping up on that strut when she climbs up there, which will be taken care of shortly. In the meantime, we can just continue taking out ciphers, which will give us problems later if we don't. And I find it incredibly easy to locate targets by instead going into first person, because the scope is real slow. First person is real fast. Just because you can... the zoom level, basically. If you shoot the ciphers' guns, that's a one-hit kill. There's also a weak spot in the middle of their rotors. If I can... No, I can't hit it. But it's there. You have to trust me on that. But yeah, ammo really isn't an issue in the sniping section, since it will always refill. Where I'm standing now is where the lethal PSG-1 ammo is, and right about here is where the PSG-1T ammo will spawn. If you stand on these spots, it'll automatically refill your rifle whenever you run low enough to do so. Fine, trust me or not. It's not like I know what I'm talking about or anything. So, when Snake calls you, you can call him back, and he'll start shooting targets for you. He's right over there. I don't particularly care to have him shoot things for me, since I have a decent handle on things for the most part. Oh no, my accuracy. So, this is a good opportunity to tell you, when Emma does get seen, she'll just plop down wherever she is, and that's why it's slower to let her get seen like that. And this is why it's faster to take out the guards before they spot her. So, once you run out of pentasmine, you can pick some up right about there. On normal, there's 2 boxes, which will fill you back up to 10, which is absolutely overkill. Indeed you can, Vino. Indeed you can. So same as the first. There's a guy up there as soon as she gets up there. And if you're more accurate than me, then you can take him out in one hit, but whatever. It doesn't matter ultimately. And now we are just about home free. There's 2 more ciphers to take care of. That guy there, and one more that'll spawn right about there. Now it's just a waiting game. Like I said, auto-scroller. If you're feeling incredibly masochistic, you can take pot shots at the seagulls. They are actually objects in the world, and you can kill them. There's our last cipher. 3 shots to take it out on the frame. Ah. Oh well. Anyway, once Emma reaches about there on the bridge is where our next boss fight is. I voted for saving the animals. You fool. So, it's much faster to shoot Vamp in the legs than the head, even though shooting him in the head does more damage. This is only because he recoils when he's shot in the head, and it takes a bit to line the shot back up, basically. And once that's taken care of, you just kind of... you cutscene walk your way up into Strut E again. So, we're going to go through this door, do some inventory management really quick. Like so. And yes, we do need this last chaff grenade. It's very important that we have one here, otherwise we're going to spend some time with ciphers that we don't need to. And it's a straight shot all the way to the door. Now, there's ciphers here. This is why the chaff is important. So just take a second, let that guy strafe to the side. And here's why leaving spaces for yourself is important when you're exiting the Shell 1 core. And then once you enter the Shell 1 core, it's just go to the elevator and then sit through some cutscenes. This is the biggest break in the run, in which nothing but cutscenes happens for a while. Which is a perfect opportunity for me to say, hi, chat. I'm sorry, I haven't been ignoring you much. I promise. That's your last codex save prompt in the game, right there. Now here's your first torture sequence of 2. You don't have to press a button. You don't even have to look at a button. You can just sit here and listen to it go.
It's been a while, hasn't it? Jack the Ripper.
I'm sorry, Glenn. I didn't mean to hurt you, baby.
You know this fellow? You remember me, don't you? You've grown.
So yeah, according to the prompt, you're supposed to hit triangle to save your breath, but who needs breath?
Have they altered your memory?
In all reality, this section, you can't even lose health. Like so. Nope, you don't even have to mash the button on European Extreme. Not here, at least. So a few more cutscenes to scroll on through. And gasp, Olga was on our side the entire time. Also, she was a cyborg ninja. We didn't even see the cyborg ninja in the run.
Olga, you can't keep
But hey,
this up. They're bound
take my
to
word
find
for
you.
it, she's there. Or the ninja is there. It exists. So, once Raiden composes himself again, like so, we're going to immediately hit the codec button, and this is our only call that we are ever going to initiate. So by calling Rose, yes, we're going to open up another save prompt. But we're also going to progress the plot. Otherwise, you'd have to sit here waiting for Rose to call you. Once your dialogue is finished, just make sure you exit the codec. Don't sit there like I do sometimes. And hey, look, we're free. Who doesn't like Nokia brick phones? Those things never die. I can confirm. I can solidly confirm. Because she takes off a third of your health in European Extreme. And that ain't cool. So once you get to the Jejunum, this is all cycles. Just wait for the first guy to start walking back and you can start running forward all the way down. Without a care in the world. And once you reach the first landing of the stairs, there's a codec call. Just take it and skip through real quick. But there's something weird going on with the Colonel and Rose. Those are our support characters on the codec, by the way. You may not have met them, but they exist. So here, the name of the game is taking phone calls. We need to take 6 from the Colonel. And really, it's just an exercise in how quickly can you mash the select button when the call pops up. So I run to this point here. It's the second line before the door. Because if you go past this point, then the call to get out of here will be a little late. So when you see the girl pop up on the radar, that's when you know you've had 3. So now we have 4. Here's 5. And Rose is on the 6th. And this is the trigger to get past this part. However, we are not done in this tunnel yet. Because Snake has a gift for us, and we must practice with the gift. Hey look, it's a sword. Wow. Metal Gear Rising. In stores near you. So, what I like to do is I like to swap it immediately to the non-lethal side by pressing the weapon button, also known as the square button, or X if you're playing on the Xbox. And then just kind of go hog wild for about a minute and a half. There's nothing you can really do about this to make it go faster. Just chill out. Yeah, Glod. I'm actually kind of surprised I have 2 of them in this run. I recall saying that the PB run I have on normal was the last one I would be getting. And here I am, almost 2.5 minutes up on that PB. Welp. So yeah, we're done with that. Now we're going to completely ignore the sword for the rest of the run until the very end. Because we are going to do a glitch. Normally you have to fight your way all the way through this. We're not going to do that. That's slow. Just equip a ration, start rolling forward. Well, as forward as you can manage. Also, try and not get smacked in the face by dude. So, press up against the wall, punch, punch, kick when first person, and when you face the door, let go of first person. You clip into the loading zone, and hey look, that section's done. Thanks Glenn, I actually did spend some time on it. So, we're actually going to grab this ration as a safety. You don't need to, but better to be safe than sorry, etc. Here's another glitch. I was supposed to completely unequip the SOCOM, but it works. So, run through Snake, punch this guy, grab this guy. Now I've choked him twice. 3 times. We have to go all the way to 9. 4. 5. Oh, right. Normal. So, on European Extreme, it's 9. It's a little bit more finicky on normal. So, what I'm going to do is instead of trying the trick again, I'm just going to go ahead and fight this normally, using my non-lethal sword. But, basically what I was trying to do is a glitch called Tengu Skip number 2. The door clip was the first one, this is the second one. And what it does is it cuts this fight short by a large margin. And I'm talking minutes here. However, I'm not entirely sure on how to do it on normal, since each choke takes more of their stamina health out than it usually would if I was on, like, say, European Extreme. So I'm not entirely sure when I should be aiming to do what exactly here. But long story short, no one really knows why Tengu Skip 2 works. It just kind of does, and we go with it. Rip. That Tengu died as he lived, falling off things. Like, what? I don't know. In brave service to Mother Russia! So yeah, these enemies, the reason why they're called Tengu, the skips they're called Tengu skips, is these enemies are called Arsenal Tengu. And the skips are so named because we skip the fights with the Arsenal Tengu. So, what's supposed to happen with that Tengu skip? What it's supposed to do is just basically immediately end the fight, more or less. Instead, we had to fight through it. So this is about a minute and a half of completely unskippable semi-cutscene, in which Solidus Snake, the main antagonist of the game, starts talking at us for a while. There is nothing we can do to speed this up, so just kind of chill. Maybe even mid-air, with your butt crack hanging straight open.
I'm sorry to see you reduced to one of the Patriots' puppets.
You can do sweet action poses. Yada yada, or yada daya. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. But yeah, sweet action poses. Just open the weapon wheel. Or if you like, do it with the item wheel. Wow. And opening these wheels doesn't slow you down because he'll just keep talking. Or you can do one of these. You can practice your mash because this will be important very soon.
You ran from it, and now you've been led back to war by something.
Or you can do spins on the ground, you know, do whatever you want. But anyway, that's done. Now we fight Metal Gear. Metal Gear! So yeah, there's a very specific pattern to these first three. Center, right, left, repeat. This stops them from shooting at you. And it also brings their health really low for when you actually have to, you know, fight them.
What's with these guys? It's like one of my Japanese enemies.
So yeah, normally he's not supposed to do that whole laser bit, but it's fine. So the main way of damaging rays is by shooting their knee, which opens up their mouth, and then shoot into their mouth while it's open. I don't know why they open their mouth when you shoot their knee. It's just a thing that happens, okay? If you're slow, they start shooting rockets at you. Rockets hurt. Don't let them shoot rockets at you. Also, I'm pretty sure that guy's already dead. Yeah. Hey Rayla, how you doing? So yeah, the objective in this fight is to do 10 Metal Gears worth of health. You don't have to destroy 10, you just have to take out 10 health bars worth of Metal Gear Ray. So when they do fire rockets, you can just kind of run in any direction basically, and you'll avoid them pretty easily. and you can speed up the fight a tiny bit by firing at the ones that aren't directly threatening you. Or you can do that too, I guess. Also, there are many ammo drops around the arena that you can take advantage of. You can also taunt these guys into doing specific attacks depending on where you're standing in the arena. If you're really close up to them, they will start lasering you with their giant mouth cannon, spitting out hot water. If you're at medium range, they'll extend their arm and start shooting at you with a machine gun. Or if you're really far out, you get the misfortune of dealing with knee rockets, which no one likes. They're a bit finicky to dodge sometimes. Yeah, it was empty. But yeah, like I said, ammo pickups. Also, I gotta be careful since I'm real close. Okay, there we go. He was about to do knee rockets there. You can tell because he hesitated for a moment. And again, you can avoid having him do knee rockets at you by just kind of shooting him anywhere. Oh, that's great, Brayla. Glad to hear it. Oops. So yeah, skipping 2 cutscenes and then there's another save prompt. This one usually does catch me by surprise. So once the menu actually loads, you can just exit out and it'll go back to normal. Just decline the save prompt the second time.
Are you awake yet,
So,
Jack?
I said mashing was going to be important very soon. Very soon is now, actually. Very soon is now.
I admit that I underestimated you.
This torture scene, you actually do have to press the button. And the health you have at the end of this section determines the amount of health you will have for the final fight of the game. Now, normally my mashing is a little better than this, but ultimately you don't actually need all that much health to fight the final boss. But it's always nice to have full health. Excuse me.
It's not him.
I'm actually surprised I managed to save my entire health bar there. With how much time I missed on mashing to begin with. So yeah, this is the single longest block of cutscenes in any video game ever until Metal Gear Solid 4 comes around and laughs in its face. If we weren't to skip all this, this would probably be about a half an hour to an hour long block of cutscenes and codec calls. So skipping these are very important. More so than the other ones. As you can tell, the codec call just skimming through them with the triangle button, it still takes forever. So there's 3 codec calls, and then after the 3 codec calls, there's 3 more cutscenes to skip, and then we are at the final boss. Hey look, the final boss. It's Solidus, doing his best Dr. Octopus impression. So there's multiple ways of looping him. In fact, I actually have already managed to mess it up. So, you can use your sword, you can use your fists. Using your fist is a little bit faster. Using the same methods we used for Vamp. 2 quick strikes, but this time only 1 more after that. Never kick. Same principle. Then cause him to block by standing in front of him and swiping. Then block his kick. And so on and so forth. Be sure to angle yourself away from the ledges if at all possible. Also, if you mess up the loop, run away. Which usually will cause him to attack and not scoot all over the place. Him scooting all over the place is bad for speed. Also, you cannot knock him off the edge. Don't even try. Soap percent? Soap percent means that I am watching my mouth. I am washing my mouth with the proverbial soap. Oh. So yeah, the timing is a little odd sometimes, and now he's scooting around. Now you gotta be careful when he's in this position because he can do a ground slam that's very time consuming. And when you get his health or his stamina gauge down to a certain point, he starts phase 2. Which means he takes off his tentacles and things get real. So to start phase 2, you let him scoot all over the place. And try not to take damage. Blocking is very important. You do that with the L1 button. And then rinse and repeat. Here, if you fail to cycle the loop, you can back off and let him scoot into you while you're blocking. And it works out. So like I said, angle yourself away from the ledge, otherwise that happens. You can't knock him off, but he can certainly knock you off. Also, this is about the worst Solidus fight I think I've ever done. In a long time, at least. There is a faster loop. It involves a lot of running around. Basically, you attack, punch, or you punch him from one side, you swipe from the other side, and then you go back to punching on the other side while he's trying to attack you. So it cuts out the whole blocking portion. But this is a little bit safer. I lost a lot of time on that Solidus. Oh well. So yeah. We have officially lost control of the game after these cutscenes here. Once you see George Washington, you've lost control of the game for the rest of it.
Do you remember this
now,
place?
in-game time does not stop when you've killed the final boss. Hence, my timer is still running. Instead, the timer runs straight through the entire 9.5 minute credits. About 9:34, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. But yeah, unskippable credits, and you only get your time after the credits are finished. So, in the meantime, there's a lot of smooth jazz. The game has become sentient. We've lost control of the game. Also, yeah, PB hype, I guess. I didn't mean to PB, but I kind of just did. It's a sloppy run, too.
Are you talking about the baby?
Like, my Shell 1 core and my Shell 2 core escapes both were kind of screwy, but it works. A PB's a PB, I guess.
To teach that to our children.
What kind of things?
About the environment, our ideas, our culture.
So, yeah, this should be
Compassion,
a 135 something then.
joy. We'll tell them everything together.
Is that a proposal?
This is for you.
So yeah, Gnome, do you have any questions? I know the back end of the game is a lot less intense than the first half, and you only managed to catch it at the back half, but is there any questions you've got for me? Because I can explain pretty much everything off the top of my head for you that you missed.
And lie up above and think, what am I made of?
Thanks, Feels. Thanks. And, fair enough, Gnome.
Of sorrow am I
Any chance we can get another run tonight? It is quite possible. It is quite possible. And Pearl, hello. How are you tonight? Today? Forget, you're Australian. You're on the other side of the world. So it's day for you. Time is magic. Time is just straight up magic. Why are you honking outside my window, please?
every child I know.
But yeah, I actually did want to ask Gnome if he possibly wanted to race. Or I can do a European Extreme attempt or two. Is it important for skips to play on the HD? How do you mean? If you mean, do you need to be on the HD collection to do most of these skips? The answer is no. You can do this on most of them. Like all versions have Tengu skips 1 and 2. There's a water swim glitch in Shell 2 Core that you can do that I personally have never really practiced all that much, and I don't know much about it. But that changes things a little bit. Like there's 2 different ways to do that skip, depending on if you're on original Sons of Liberty or on the HD collection. You can play on the original Sons of Liberty on the PS2 and get a comparable time. It won't be the same though because of load times. The PS2 version has a lot of like frame slowdowns that affect the run, like the time of the run. Because if I'm not mistaken, the in-game timer will run at full speed even if the game itself is slowed down a little bit. So that kind of factors in. But you can get a comparable time running on any version of the game. All that really changes are load times. PC by far has the best load times, and PS2 I think has the worst. The remake was for PS3 and Xbox 360, yeah. Also, try as you might, Pearl, you're not going to make it happen. Yes, there is a PC version. It's an actual, like, released PC version. It was ported from the Xbox version of the original Sons of Liberty. There's a lot of problems with the PC version, but there are fixes for it. In fact, there's a lot of fixes for it on like the speedrun.com resources section for the game. That in fact I can link for you real quick. But yeah, if you are interested in running the PC version, the fixes on that page will get you where you need to be for the most part. But I think in terms of a full game run, the PC has about a 10-minute advantage just in load times alone. MGS2, MGS3, and Peace Walker are all on the HD collection. There's also the Substance release on... I think it's the Substance release that's bundled into the Legacy collection, which includes 1, 2, and 3. But you have to keep in mind that there are differences in the actual game itself if you're running between Substance and Sons of Liberty. I don't know if I'd call MGS2 my favorite, but it's the one that I speedrun. It's the one that I know how to speedrun, so there is that. Yeah, Gaz. But like I said, there are fixes. There are fixes that people have put together. In substance, what comes to mind mainly are like glitches and the like, and dog tags. Yeah. I think the substance version was the one that broke the original Sons of Liberty water skip or water glitch, swim glitch. God. The swim glitch. It's what broke the original version of that, but people have since found an alternative, and that's the one that has to be used on like HD and such. Alright, we're coming to the end of it. The credits are almost over, thankfully. My favorite MGS title? That's a very hard question that I have not yet been able to answer concisely. I just really enjoy all of them. I basically grew up with the series, so they're all in my heart. They've all got a special place. So yeah, 135.17. That is actually a PB. That's a whole minute's worth of PB right there. A minute and 3 seconds, actually. I started way back in MGS1, actually. It's the first one I played, but the one I've played the most, not even counting doing speedruns recently, has been MGS2. For sure. The Phantom Pain is down to less than 4 hours. That's incredible. Unskippable credits, a minute and a half. I think you need to reword that one. That's 9.5 minutes to just sit here and talk to chat. But yeah, Gnome. You can either take a look at this VOD. I'm also going to be running an actual guide sooner or later. That's a lot more comprehensive than this was. This was just... Okay, so this was me getting a VOD that had no swears in it, and also did a decent job at explaining what I'm doing, so I can submit it to HDQ. And